Hi everyone, it's Michael. I just wanted to do a quick check-in because I feel like I've made some progress on, building out some new functionality for incorporating switches into battles. So, backing up just a little bit to kind of explain like where I was at before doing this work was that I had previously added in basically a calculation of the damage of your Pokemon's moves versus the opponent. And those were the only inputs into the neural network. So everything that the neural network was trying to do was attempting to just maximize the amount of damage that it would do. And for example, the reward function that I have set up right now just rewards based on the amount of damage that you've done to the enemy team. So this is working really well against the random bot, except the random bot obviously is very far below the skill level that I want to train this bot to be able to go against. So previously against a random bot, I was getting on 2,000 matches about a 95% win rate, which was really good. But when I changed from playing against the random bot to a bot that just picks the move with the greatest base power every single time, the win rate went down significantly. So on 1,000 battles, that same network won only 530 times, and on 2,000 battles, it won only 1,275 times. So yeah, you can see that there's a clear drop off in the performance of the network based solely on maximizing the amount of expected damage that I can do to an enemy. It's still winning the majority of its games once it actually gets trained, but if I were to put this against any kind of a real person, obviously it would perform really badly. So the next step of what I was thinking about was just a number of different things that I can measure that could help the bot to do better against this new max damage bot. And so I think that there were a number of ideas I came up with that seem like good ideas, like, for example, thinking about the ability to heal your Pokemon. But I also just think that in terms of the amount of return that I'm going to get for incorporating that into the network, I don't think it's as much as, say, for example, the ability to include switching into the network's decision making process. Because I think that like when you get better at Pokemon, switching is like this, just this technique that you can use to get out of a bad situation and really give yourself an advantage in terms of the battle. And um, if I look at the max damage bot, we can see his code is really simple. It literally just looks for the best available move based on its base power and then does that. So we know, for example, that this max damage bot is not going to switch unless it absolutely has nothing else that it can do. So I think that switching is going to really be what I can exploit to beat this bot and get really significant performance increases. And so I went ahead and I generalized the function that I'm using to actually calculate the amount of damage that a move will do. And with that, I plugged that in as inputs against all of the available Pokemon I can switch to in my party. And so we can see now, for example, the number of observations has increased from rather than just the power of the move and the accuracy of the move to also include the 5 Pokemon that you can potentially switch to and the damage that would be done against them. And sort of with that, I also need to add in the ability to actually switch to those Pokemon so the action space increased as well. And the results are definitely very interesting. So if we look at the sort of initial run I did with only 100 battles, we only won 10% of those battles using this new logic. It was doing some really crazy things, honestly. Like it was almost switching every single time. So clearly, very poor strategy. Bumped that up to 1,000 and it was winning 141 battles, so about 14%. So it's learning somewhat. But I just left it running against 10,000 battles, and it was actually winning 5,520 of those battles. So that's really incredible progress. I think the only issue about that is that this took roughly 19 minutes to train. So this is this is just a long time for it to actually learn how to battle. So I'm definitely going to be looking at do I have any bugs? Is there any way I could speed that up? Maybe tune my hyperparameters, like if I adjust the learning rate, can I get that to be more impressive? Um, just taking a quick look at some of the metrics that I have so we can see, um, like here is the output for the run that won 5,520 battles of 10,000 total. And we can see that um, it's learning pretty well by the end of it. Um, so for example, this is within the last battle that we had. The first four values are all going to be the powers of the moves, or rather the expected damage of the move against the enemy Pokemon. And then the next four are going to be our accuracy values. And then from here on out, these are the available switches that we can make and what the damage of the opponent's previous move would be against them. So we can see, for example, in this one, it would have been a pretty effective move against whatever Pokemon we could switch to. Um, we can see that the third move that we have has a really high expected damage though, and we're going to choose the move Outrage, which actually is not the optimal move in this situation. So clearly it still has um, some things that it needs to learn. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm definitely going to be looking to try and improve this, but I will let you guys know when I make some progress.